As fairy tales do, this story tells of both friendship and love. But that is where the story, a different type of fairy tale, takes a turn. This is the story of Buena Vista. Once upon a time, somewhere in England, there was a place called the Enchanted Forest. Winnie the Pooh and his friends befriended Fievel Mousekewitz and his family as they journey from Russia to America. When Fievel gets lost, Pooh and his buddies embarked on a quest to bring Fievel back to his family. They battled an evil cat named Warren T. Sometime after that, Fievel is reunited with his family. Fievel and his family moved into the 100-acre wood. A year later, the forest is being invaded by Captain Pete and his pirates. Pooh and Tigger joined forces with Woody and Buzz Lightyear to save the forest with a little help from the Indian Mouse Princess, Jolena. Fievel defeated Pete and brought happiness back to the 100-acre wood. The country cat, Musette, went on a series of adventures in the town of Nottingham, but she was in danger by Prince John, who tried in vain to have her as his princess. But John Tom came to Musette's rescue and defeated Prince John. Musette and John Tom are married. Musette's son, Tom, and his rival-turned-friend, Jerry Mouse, went on a series of misadventures as they encountered a vixen named Sharpears. Tom and Jerry prevented a ruthless hunter named Gaston from hunting down Sharpears and her family. After Gaston's defeat, Tom and Jerry went home with Musette and John Tom. Miss Bianca and Bernard rescued Nicodemus, who was kidnapped by Professor Radigan, Bianca's ex-fiancé. A month later, Bianca moved away from the city and lived in the country. Once there, she at first had an argument with Mrs. Brisby, who was jealous of her, but then they later became the best of friends after they talked to each other about their families. Brisby and her family visited Bianca sometimes, but one day, after a battle between Captain Justin and Radigan, who was defeated, Brisby gets kidnapped by the bullying orphans who try to steal her magic amulet. When Brisby escaped from the orphans by taking her amulet with her, she had a fight with Bianca. Bianca ran away from her in tears. Weeks later, Woody the Cowboy and Buzz Lightyear visited Bianca and told her that she and Brisby will always be best friends. Bianca went to Thorn Valley, where she and Brisby reunite and became best friends once again. Months later, Miss Bianca and Bernard lived on a farm. One day, Bernard and Bianca got to Slade's home and discovered that their old friend, Amos Slade, or Amy for short, brought his dog, Chief, a puppy named Copper. The two mice later went to join their new friends, Robin Hood the Fox and his band of merry men. A month later, Robin's mother gave birth to his little sister, Rita. Robin Hood and Little John lived in Sherwood Forest. One day, Robin gets kidnapped by the Sheriff of Nottingham and King Louis, but he escaped. Robin went to Nottingham and met his childhood sweetheart, Maid Marian. The sneaky Queen Veracity tried in vain to steal Robin away from Marian, but Marian will do whatever it takes to save her old friend. After an encounter with Monstro the Whale, Robin and Marian are married. Marian gave birth to her son, Todd. Marian and Robin's son, Todd, befriended Copper. As children, Todd and Copper went on a series of misadventures. One day, after an encounter with Stromboli, the gypsy puppet master, Robin and Marian decided to keep Todd safe from any harm. Months later, Todd and Copper grew up and they encountered Vixie and Alu. In the forest, Alu battled Vixie's scheming uncle Foulfellow. He was about to bully Alu, but Foulfellow changed his mind. He went to steal Von Drake's secret potion. After that, Foulfellow used the potion that magically transformed him into a grizzly bear. Foulfellow attacked Amos Slade and Copper, but Todd came to their rescue and defeated Foulfellow. Slade welcomed Alu to his family. A year before Robin Hood was on the run, Robin's sister, Rita the Fox, went on a fantastic adventure with her best friend, Hugo the Jungle Animal. Rita wants to find a safe place where there is no danger because of when her brother was being bossy to her one day. Along the way, they encountered the Jedi Knights and the Sith Lords. Hugo and Rita also met Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. In the Pride Lands, Kiara and her family of lions encountered Gobo Fraggle and his friends. Kiara became best friends with Gobo, and she went on an adventure with him. But as she grew, and sometimes after they defeated the evil Scar, Kiara was later engaged to her old childhood friend, Kovo. Vixie and Alu find adventure as they set off to rescue their children from a mean old badger named Mr. Digger in the forest. Vixie fought the badger and brought her son home. Hugo and Rita went on a new adventure from Sherwood Forest to a safe place where there is no danger. Along the way, Rita's brother, Robin Hood, joined them. Hugo and Rita encountered Jiminy Cricket, who time travels with them, and his magic. In the future, Rita met Maid Marian and her daughter-in-law, Vixie. Hugo and Rita came back to the present. When the Sheriff of Nottingham threatened to invade Sherwood Forest, Robin got rid of him for good. Hugo and Rita had found a place where there is no danger. Hugo and Rita went to live in a cave behind a waterfall. One day, Marian argued with Robin about the way he treated Rita. Having fed up with both Rita and Marian, Robin moved away. Meanwhile, Hugo and Rita came to visit Marian. They told her that they became new friends with Kiara and Kovo's cub, Riot. A small pony named Twilight Sparkle was orphaned. After her parents have been assassinated by the evil Lord Malice, Bagheera the Panther adopted her and welcomed her to the Enchanted Forest, which took place somewhere in England. As Twilight grew, she adopted an abandoned baby dragon named Spike. They became the best of friends. As time went by, they went on a series of adventures. Along the way, they encountered new friends such as Todd the Fox and Copper the Hound. One day, after Spike was rescued by their new friend Launchpad McQuack, Twilight and Spike moved out of their old treehouse and they moved to an apartment somewhere in the forest. Twilight and Spike went on new adventures in town, a jungle, a studio, and in a different part of the Enchanted Forest, where they made some new friends and encountered some new enemies. Todd and Copper's friends, Vixie and Alu, along with Miss Bianca and Mrs. Brisby, they served as superheroes during that time. One day, circumstances drove Todd and Twilight apart because of when they argued about a little something. Todd just said something, well, did something terrible to Twilight, which have made Twilight ran away from him in tears. Twilight and Spike moved out of the apartment. They had moved to a new treehouse somewhere in the woods. Sometime later, they went on a new series of misadventures as they encountered a retired superhero who is known as Tommy Oliver. And along the way, Twilight befriended a pony soldier named Flash Sentry. Spike and his friends couldn't believe what they noticed. Twilight had a crush on Flash Sentry ever since they first met. The next day, Twilight and Spike got a job at a place called Harshweenie Industries. But when Spike caused an accident there, Miss Harshweenie kicked him out. Miss Harshweenie was beginning to act abusive toward Twilight. But then, their friend Baloo the Bear came out of nowhere and killed Harshweenie by smashing her with a boulder. Twilight is safe. Sometime later, Twilight was feeling homesick because she missed her parents and some of their old friends from the Enchanted Forest. But when Spike came along, he told Twilight that he will always be there for her, and they will always be the best of friends.